Здравствуйте. Hello and welcome to Russian language class. So, let us have a quick recap of the topics we learnt in the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we discussed about the instrumental case and its uses, and we had discussed that instrumental case can be used to denote the instrument of action, and when it denotes the instrument of action, we do not use any preposition before the noun. For example, Studenti pišut karandashom ili ručkai. Students write with a pencil or a pen. So, here as you can see, karandash and ruchka are in the instrumental case and they are not preceded with any preposition. The other use we had discussed that with the preposition sir, the instrumental case of noun denotes the person with whom an action is performed. For example, мы ездили на экскурсию с преподавателем. Мы ездили на экскурсию с преподавателем. So, we went for an excursion with the teacher. So, here as you can see, с преподавателем, or it answers the question с кем. С кем вы ездили на экскурсию? Мы ездили на экскурсию с преподавателем. The third use we had discussed that with the verbs становится, стать and быть, we use the instrumental case of nouns. Я хочу стать инженером. So, I want to become an engineer. So, here we are using the noun after the verb stać, that is why engineer has been changed into the instrumental case. So, engineerum is the instrumental case form of the noun engineer. And apart from these three uses, there are other verbs also, mainly reflexive verbs which have non-reflexive English counterpart. So, which basically denotes the non-reflexive meaning. So, whenever we use those verbs, we use the instrumental case of nouns. For example, знакомиться, познакомиться, встретиться, встречаться, and so on. Apart from this thing, we had also discussed the expression drug druga. Drug druga, which means each other or one another. So, when we use drug druga, we have to basically notice or be careful about two things. The first drug has to be in the nominative case, and the other drug, the next drug, the second drug can change its form as per the case it is being used in. For example, мы часто вспоминаем друг о друге. We often remember about each other. So, here as you can see, вспоминать, which is to remember, takes acum or achum. So, basically it takes the prepositional case. So, that is why we have changed the second drug into the prepositional case, drug or druge. So, this was the previous topics that we learnt in the previous lesson. So, now we will look at the new topics that we will be covering today. In the previous lesson, we had discussed about the uses of the instrumental case of nouns. The uses we have already discussed in detail. Now, we will learn the declension of singular nouns in the instrumental case. So, how do the singular nouns decline in the instrumental case? So, let us first start with the masculine and neuter nouns. So, how do they decline in the instrumental case? So, we will learn the declension through the examples. So, for this purpose, I have written the sentences and the nouns as the answers in the instrumental case. So, let us start from the first sentence. Чем вы пишете на доске? Чем is the interrogative word which requires the answer to be in the instrumental case. Чем вы пишете на доске? So, what do you write on the blackboard with, or with what do you write on the blackboard? The answer I have written in the short form mailam. So, mail is chalk. So, mail has changed to mailam. Mail, as you already know this word before, mail has hard ending. So, it ends with a hard consonant. So, if a noun ends with a hard consonant, how do we decline that noun in the instrumental case? We add om. So, basically here we are using om at the end to get its instrumental case form. Chem vi pishiche na daske mielam, and here miel denotes the instrument of action, that is why we have not written any preposition here. The next example is s kim vi razgovarivajte po telefonu. With whom are you talking on phone? S kim vi razgovarivajte po telefonu. I have already told you that s kim means with whom, or the person with whom some action is performed, and the answer I have written here is sdrugam. Sdrugam. So, here again drug, which is the nominative case form, and a noun, masculine noun with a hard ending or hard ending consonant, which is ge, will take the same ending as male. So, here also we have added om, the same thing will add here to get its instrumental case form, sdrugam. So, drug becomes drugam with friend. The next is s kim vi jedziecie w muzej. S kim vi jedziecie w muzej. Jedziecie comes from the verb of motion jechać, which means to go or to come by means of a vehicle or by means of a transport. So, with whom are you going to the museum? And the answer is spripada vachilyam. Spripada vachilyam. So, here as you can see pripada vachal, if you remember the spelling, it ends with a soft consonant or a soft sign. So, whenever you come across a masculine noun with soft ending, what do we change in the noun? In the instrumental case, we drop the soft sign and add yam. So, pripada vachal changes to pripada vachilyam. So, with a teacher. The next example is где находится ваш office. So, where is your office located or situated? So, here I have used рядом с museum. Рядом с is an expression that means besides or near. So, near the museum. So, рядом с museum. After sir, we are supposed to use the instrumental case of the noun. So, muzei, which again has e kratke ending. So, how do we change or how do we decline a noun, masculine noun with an e kratke ending? We drop e kratke and add yem. So, muzei becomes museum. So, these were the nouns which are masculine nouns, and there were two endings. First one was hard ending like male and drug, and the other one was pripada vachal and muzei. So, in the first two nouns we have used the suffix om, and in the other two nouns we have used the suffix yem. So, instrumental case form of the masculine nouns are formed by using either om or yem. So, now let us move on to the neuter gender nouns. So, how do we decline the neuter gender nouns in the instrumental case? Again we will follow the same pattern. We will ask a question and then we will try to answer them using the instrumental case of the noun. So, какой чай обычно пьют в Индии? Какой чай обычно пьют в Индии? So, which tea is preferred or which tea is usually drunk in India? So, which tea is usually preferred in India? And the answer is chai s malakom. Chai s malakom, tea with milk. So, you already know this thing that in India we prefer tea with milk. So, chai s malakom, malako ends with o and it is a neuter gender noun. So, whenever you come across a neuter gender noun with hard ending, which means ending with o, then we add m. So, malako, malakom, chai s malakom. The next is the noun with the soft ending, neuter gender noun with soft ending. Где находится наш город на карте Индии? Gidje Nakhodjatsa Nashgorad Nakarche Inji. So, where is our city located on the India map, on the map of India? So, where is our city located on the map of India? If you have to say that near the sea, how will you say that? Again we will use the same expression here, Ryadam sa Moryam. So, here Morya ends with ye, which is a soft vowel. So, it is a soft ending noun, a soft ending neuter gender noun. So, whenever you come across a soft ending neuter gender noun, we will use yem. So, again in both the masculine and neuter gender nouns, we are using two endings. The first one is om and the other one is yem. So, this is how we decline the masculine and neuter gender nouns in the instrumental case. In the next part, we will discuss about the declension of the feminine gender nouns. We are now discussing about the declension of singular nouns in the instrumental case. We have already discussed how do masculine and neuter nouns decline in the instrumental case. Now, we will look at how feminine nouns decline in the instrumental case, and we are only talking about singular nouns. We will follow the same pattern. For this thing, we have written down some examples with the noun in the instrumental case as answers. The first example I have written here is Chem vi pishichev chitraji. Chem vi pishichev chitraji. So, with what or what do you write in the notebook with, or with what do you write in the notebook? So, if we have to say that I write in the notebook with a pen, how would you say that? Ya pishuf chitraji ruchkai. Ya pishuf chitraji ruchkai. So, ruchka, which ends with a, becomes ruchkai. So, we are dropping a and then we are adding o and e kratke to get its instrumental case form. So, how do we decline a feminine noun with a ending? We drop the ending a and add o and e kratke. So, ruchka, ruchkai. The next ending is skem vi ye zilif jeli. Skem vi ye zilif deli. So, with whom did you go to Delhi? And if you have to say that I went to Delhi with family, so how do you say that? Family in Russian is semya. So, when we come across a noun with ya ending, how do we decline that noun in the instrumental case? So, you can answer this question as ya ye zilf deli semyoi. So, here what are we doing? We are dropping the ending which is ya and adding yo and e kratke. Why we are using yo? We will talk about it later on. So, simya, simyoi. Next example with a different ending is Gdzie nachodится университетская библиотека. Gdzie находится университетская библиотека. So, where is the university library situated? And if you have to use laboratoria, laboratoria is laboratory. Laboratoria ends with e and ya. So, how will you change laboratoria in the instrumental case? Rядом laboratoriei. Rядом laboratoriei. Университетская библиотека находится рядом с лабораторией. So, the university library is located near the laboratory. So, here laboratoria, so we are dropping ya and adding ye and e kratke. Laboratoria, laboratorii. So, this is how we change the nouns with iya ending. Like photografia will be photografiei and so on. The next ending is the nouns with a soft sign ending. So, there are feminine nouns with soft sign ending. So, how do you change or how do you decline the nouns, feminine nouns with soft sign ending? For example, Gdzie lishit uchebnik. So, where is the textbook line? Rядом с тетрадью. Rядом с тетрадью, or next to the notebook. So, chitraj is a feminine noun which ends with a soft sign. So, what happens when we use this noun in the instrumental case? We do not do anything, we just add u after the ending. So, Chitraj, Chitraju. Uchebnik lishit ryadams Chitraju. The textbook is lying next to the notebook. So, this is how we decline the feminine nouns. And if you look at this thing, simya, I have told you that there is some deviation from the rule which we are going to talk about later on. So, now we will discuss the deviations from the normal rule and the changes in the nouns which do not follow the regular pattern in the instrumental case. So, apart from the rules of declension that we studied just now, there are other rules also for declension of nouns in the instrumental case. One of them being, if a noun or if the stem of a noun ends with either of these consonants, either zh, ch, sh, sh or tse, then we have to see whether the ending is stressed or unstressed. If the ending is stressed, then while declining the nouns, we will use om with the masculine noun and oe with the feminine noun. For example, nosh, nosh means knife. So, nosh will have najom in the instrumental case. So, nosh, najom. Switcha, switcha is candle. So, how will you decline switcha in the instrumental case? As you can see, the stem is stressed here. So, it has this stressed ending, that is why we will use oe kratke. Switcha, switchoi. Similarly, vrach, vrach is a masculine noun with stressed ending. So, vrach, vrachom. So, we will use om. Achyets, achyets again has a stressed ending. So, we will use om, atsom. Achyets, atsom. Achyets is father. So, when the ending is stressed, then we use om with masculine nouns and oe kratke with the feminine nouns. So, what happens when the ending is unstressed? So, if the ending is unstressed in the nouns where stem ends with either zh, ch, sh, sh or tse, then we use ye, ye and e kratke with the feminine nouns and yem with the masculine nouns. So, let us start with the examples. Yunasha, Yunasha is adolescent. Yunasha is a masculine noun with I ending. So, Yunasha, Yunashe. As you can see, we are using ye and e kratke. Pchitsa, pchitsa is a bird. Pchitsa again, as you can see, the ending is unstressed and e here is stressed. Chitsa, chitse. So, we are using ye and e kratke. Tavarish, tavarish is a masculine noun with the ending sh. So, what happens when we use this noun in the instrumental case? Tavarishim. Why yem? Because the ending is unstressed. Tavarishim. Stalitsa, stalitsa, this noun also ends with tse and a, its stem ends with tse. So, what will we use in the ending in the instrumental case? Stalitse, stalitse, ye because the ending is unstressed. So, if the ending is stressed in a noun whose stem ends with zh, ch, sh, sh or tse, then we use om or yem, om or oe. But if the ending is unstressed, then we use either yem with masculine nouns and ye with the feminine nouns. There are a couple of more rules that we will discuss now. Position of stress also plays a very important role while declining the masculine nouns with soft consonant ending and feminine nouns with ya ending. As you can see, if the ending is stressed, for example, slavar, slavar ends with a soft consonant or a consonant with a soft sign, slavar, and you can see that the last syllable is stressed, var. So, if we come across a masculine noun with soft consonant ending, then in the instrumental case we will decline that noun with adding yom. So, instead of using yem, we are using yom. The same way, let us look at the another noun, masculine noun with soft consonant ending like Jane, Jane is day. So, how will you decline this noun in the instrumental case? Jane will become dnyom, dnyom. So, we are using again yom. Why? Because the last or the ending is stressed. So, what will happen when the ending is unstressed? For example, uchichal, uchichal, as you can see, there are 3 vowels, out of which the middle one is stressed, the ending is unstressed. So, if the ending is unstressed in the nouns or the masculine nouns with soft consonant ending, how will you decline that particular noun in the instrumental case? We will use yem. So, uchichal, uchichilyam in the instrumental case. Similarly, pripada vachal, pripada vachalyam. So, here again as you can see, the ending is unstressed, penultimate vowel is stressed. So, we will use yem. So, if the ending is stressed, then we use yom if the noun ends with a soft consonant, and if the ending is unstressed, then we use yem. So, slavar, slavaryom, but uchichal, uchichilyam. So, the next point is feminine nouns with ya ending. So, if the feminine noun ends with ya, then what happens? How do we decline the noun in the instrumental case? So, again the position of stress will come into play. So, if the ending is stressed, for example, simya, in simya the ending is stressed, the stress is on ya. So, how will you decline this noun in the instrumental case? Again we will use the same pattern, simyoi. So, instead of using yei, we are using yoi, simyoi, simya, simyoi. Why? Because the last syllable is stressed or the ending is stressed. The same way, zimlya, zimlya is earth. So, how will you decline this noun in the instrumental case? Zimlyoi, ya is stressed, that is why we are replacing ya with yoi. And if the ending is unstressed, for example, piesnya, then we will use yei. So, if the ending is unstressed, we will use yei. For example, piesnya, piesny, tyotya, tyotyei. So, this is a very important thing that you need to remember while declining the nouns in the instrumental case. So, we are now talking about only singular nouns. Now, let us come to mach and doch. Mach and doch, as we have already discussed, they have a different declining pattern. So, when it comes to declining them in the instrumental case, you have to remember that they decline in the same way as other soft sign ending nouns. The only difference is we add ye and r in the stem to get its instrumental case form. So, mach becomes machiryu and doch, dochiryu. So, this was about the declension of singular nouns in the instrumental case. So, now we will move on to the next topic. So, now we will learn the nouns with the suffixes anin, yanin or onak or yonak. Why we are learning them separately? Because their declension in plural especially is different from other nouns in various cases. So, for example, I have written here 3 nouns, Anglicianin, Christianin and Ribionak. Anglicianin is an Englishman, Christianen is a farmer, and Ribionak is a child. And I have written their declension in plural in various cases. You have to memorize them by heart, and while using them in different cases you have to remember them. So, nominative singular is Anglicianen, Christianen and Ribionak. So, what is the nominative plural of these three nouns? Anglicianen, Angliciane. So, as you can see, what we are doing is we are dropping e n from the end and we are adding ye. Anglicianen, Angliciane. Christianen, Christiane. Ribionak has altogether a different nominative plural, dieci. Ribionak, dieci. The genitive plural of Anglicianen is Anglician, Christianen, Christian and Ribionak, ditiei. Accusative plural is similar to the genitive plural Anglician, Christian and ditiei. The dative plural form of Anglicianen is Anglicianum, Christianum and dietium. Instrumental plural form of these three nouns are Anglicianumi, Christianumi, Igitimi. Here you have to remember that we are not using yami, we are using a soft sign and then me, ditmi. Prepositional plural of these three nouns are Anglicianach, Christianach, Dietiach. So, this is how we decline the nouns with the endings anin, yanin or onak, yonak in various cases in plural. The other example of these nouns are Grajdanin, which means citizen, citizen of a country, Egyptianin, Egyptian, I mean the person from Egypt, and Zimlianin. Zimlianin means terrestrial or earthen. So, this is about the nouns with the suffixes anin, yanin, onak and yonak. So, now we will move on to our next topic. Now, I will read out a text in which there are some words used in the instrumental case. Please pay attention to the use of those words carefully, and after reading the text, I will tell you the meaning of the text also. And the text is called Bit ilini bit. That means to be or not to be. As you know, and this is a famous expression of Shakespeare, to be or not to be. So, let us start the text. У меня очень серьезная проблема. Почти как в драме Шекспира. Мне уже 17 лет. Через 2 месяца я закончу школу, но я еще не знаю, кем быть. Мне очень трудно выбрать профессию. Моя мама хочет, чтобы я был врачом. Она говорит, что врач в семье – это очень удобно. Можно не ходить в поликлинику. Мой папа хочет, чтобы я был программистом, как он. Он очень любит свою профессию. Думает, что она самая интересная и нужная. Моя бабушка хочет, чтобы я был финансистом. Она думает, что финансисты работают с деньгами, и у них тоже много денег. Мой дедушка хочет, чтобы я был летчиком. Он очень хотел стать летчиком, но не смог. Здоровье не очень хорошее. И теперь он мечтает, что внук будет летчиком. So now I will tell you the meaning of the text. I have got a very serious problem, almost like in Shakespeare plays. I am already 17 years old and 2 years after I am going to finish my school, but I still do not know what I would become. It is very difficult for me to choose profession. My mother wants me to become a doctor. She says that a doctor in the family is very convenient. You may not have to visit a polyclinic. My father wants me to become a software engineer like himself. He loves his job very much and thinks that this is the most interesting and important. My grandmother wants me to become a financial expert. She thinks that financial experts work with money and they have a lot of money too. My grandfather wants me to become a pilot. He badly wanted to become a pilot but could not do. His health was not in a very good shape and now he dreams that his grandson would become a pilot. So, this was about the text, and as you can see there are words which have been used in the instrumental case like lochikam, programistam and finansistam. So, with this text I will conclude this lesson here itself. So, what all we have learnt in this lesson? We have learnt the declension of singular nouns in the instrumental case, and we have also learnt the nouns with the suffixes anin, yanin, onak, yonak. So, we will meet in the next class. Till then, spasiba, nasvidanya.